If you're an Arizona gun owner, there's one moment during a traffic stop that determines whether the encounter stays routine or suddenly becomes a weapons investigation. And surprisingly, it has nothing to do with whether you're legally carrying. It has everything to do with what you do when the officer notices the gun. Picture this. Red and blue lights appear behind you. You pull over, your registration is in the glove box, your firearm is also in the glove box. The officer walks up and says, "Good evening, license and registration." Right now, the officer hasn't decided whether this is a simple traffic stop or something that requires immediate intervention. But in the next few seconds, many Arizona gun owners make a mistake that changes everything. And that's exactly what we're covering today. Not 5 different laws, not 5 different rights, one decision point. If knowing your rights matters to you, subscribe now. Share this with someone who needs it, and drop your opinion below. The moment an officer sees behavior that makes him believe he may be losing control of the weapon situation, because that's the moment routine traffic stops become arrests. Let's break it down. The trap. Most lawful gun owners think the gun is the issue. It's usually not. The issue is movement, unexpected movement, unexplained movement, movement toward areas where weapons might be located. Here's how it often starts. Officer, license and registration. Driver, sure. Then suddenly the driver reaches toward the center console, or dives into the glove box, or leans under the seat, or starts digging around without saying a word. The officer immediately notices. Whoa, what are you reaching for? Driver, my registration. Officer, keep your hands where I can see them. Now the tone changes, not because the gun is illegal, not because the driver committed a violent crime, because the officer no longer knows what the driver's intentions are. That uncertainty creates the escalation. And Arizona gun owners make this mistake in several different ways. Mistake number 1, reaching before explaining. Mistake number 2, trying to retrieve documents from the same location as the firearm. Mistake number 3, moving quickly when nervous. Mistake number 4, interrupting instructions. Mistake number 5, thinking the officer can read their mind. All 5 mistakes create the same problem. The officer sees movement before understanding the reason for it. Why officers ask? Let's look at this from the officer's perspective. During the traffic stop, officers don't know who they're dealing with. Most stops are completely routine, but officers are trained to pay attention to sudden movements. Why? Because movement often provides information before words do. An officer can hear someone say, "I'm just getting my registration," but if that statement comes after the person already reached into a glove box, the officer is already reacting to the movement. The investigation isn't focused on the firearm itself. It's focused on whether the officer can safely control the encounter. That's why the question often comes quickly. What are you reaching for? What is in that compartment? Do you have any weapons in the vehicle? These questions are designed to clarify uncertainty. The less uncertainty an officer has, the smoother the stop usually goes. The decision point. Here's the exact moment everything changes. The officer notices movement toward a location that could contain a weapon. That's it. That's the decision point. Not the gun, not the traffic violation, the movement. Let's compare 2 drivers. First, the wrong response. Officer, license and registration. Driver immediately opens glove box. Officer notices a handgun. Officer, stop, keep your hands out. Driver, I'm just getting my paperwork. Officer, keep your hands out. Step out of the vehicle. Now the encounter becomes much more controlled. Additional questioning begins, possibly a temporary detention, possibly a weapons investigation. Again, not because carrying was necessarily illegal, because the officer lost visibility and certainty. Now let's look at the better response. Officer, license and registration. Driver, my registration is near my firearm. How would you like me to proceed? That's it. My registration is near my firearm. How would you like me to proceed? Short, clear, professional, and most importantly, it transfers the next decision back to the officer. You're no longer creating uncertainty, you're reducing it. Let's say it again. My registration is near my firearm. How would you like me to proceed? What happens next? Now let's talk about what officers commonly do after hearing that statement. Sometimes they'll say, "Go ahead and retrieve it slowly." Great, follow instructions exactly. Sometimes they'll say, "Leave it where it is." Again, Simple. Follow instructions. Sometimes they'll ask, where exactly is the firearm? Answer briefly. Driver, inside the glove box, or on my right hip, or in a holster between the seats. No long explanations, no nervous speeches, no unnecessary details. Just answer the question asked. Sometimes officers apply pressure by asking additional questions. Officer, are there any other weapons in the vehicle? Answer truthfully according to the circumstances and applicable law. Then stop talking. Many drivers get themselves into trouble because they continue volunteering information after the question has already been answered. Remember, the goal is clarity, not storytelling. Every extra sentence creates opportunities for confusion. Legal foundation. Arizona is generally considered firearm-friendly compared with many states. Lawful possession of a firearm inside a vehicle is often completely legal for eligible individuals. But legality of possession and officer safety procedures are two different issues. The Fourth Amendment governs searches and seizures, while courts have long recognized that officers may take reasonable steps to maintain safety during traffic stops. That's why behavior matters so much. The question isn't always, can this person legally possess a firearm? The immediate question is often, can I safely manage this encounter? The less uncertainty an officer has, the smoother that process tends to be. Final review. So let's put everything together. The trap isn't owning the gun. The trap is creating uncertainty through unexpected movement. The decision point occurs the moment an officer sees movement toward a location that could contain a weapon. That's it. That's the decision point. The wrong approach is reaching first and explaining later. The better approach is communicating first and moving after instructions. And the phrase to remember is, my registration is near my firearm. How would you like me to proceed? One sentence, easy to remember, easy to use, and designed to prevent the exact misunderstanding that causes so many routine stops to escalate. Because the smartest drivers aren't the ones who talk the most. They're the ones who recognize the decision point before the officer does.